Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this edition of Gun Guy Radio is supplied by LA Police Gear. LAPoliceGear.com.
Welcome to episode 106 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, and this is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, just a few announcements before we get going here. So, I think I may have mentioned this before, but my wife is extremely pregnant, like ready to pop. That kind of pregnant. So we're trying to make some plans. I'm trying to make some plans here with the crew at the Firearms Radio Network to maybe fill in for me for a few weeks after the baby comes. It's our fourth, and it's also my wife's fourth C-section. So it's major surgery pretty much for her, so she won't be able to really do much with the other three kids. So I'll be Mr. Mom for at least a couple weeks. So we may or may not have a Gun Guy Radio go out during those 2 weeks. And 106 episodes have not missed a week. So, but I have realized that, family comes first, and if it doesn't go out, it doesn't go out. So I'm going to do my best, though. Some of the other guys might be able to get an interview nailed down or get maybe a roundtable show put together for Gun Guy Radio. But just wanted to give everyone a heads up that I might disappear. We're scheduled for a delivery date, but you know how that goes. It could she could go into natural delivery sooner, and then that would shift my schedule all around. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that. And we're giving away a new Bond Arms backup in 45 ACP, and the backup is the newest member of the Bond Arms family, and we're giving this away on May the 4th, but we need all entries by April 30th. So we'll be drawing from whoever has submitted a review on the Firearms Insider gun and gear review website. So firearmsinsider.tv/submit is how you submit a review. firearmsinsider.tv/submit. There's a link in the show notes. And it'll take you to a form page that you fill out all the review aspects, and then we'll put that up on the site. Now, it might be a little overwhelming if you look at it. So there is an outline at the very top of this page where you can look at the outline. You can kind of fill it out on your own, and then when you go to fill out the online form, it will go a lot easier, I think, if you look at the outline first and fill out all the required fields and everything ahead of time. Pardon me here. I'm still recovering from this SHOT Show plague I had. I'm still a little stuffed up a little bit, and still dealing with watery eyes and or runny nose and stuff, so bear with me. So yeah, but the Bond Arms, great Bond Arms giveaway here on Gun Guy Radio. Firearmsinsider.tv/submit. Excuse me. And we also have a We Like Shooting challenge, the shootout challenge that the We Like Shooting guys have put together here. If you've listened to the We Like Shooting podcast, you'll be familiar with their shenanigans, but they're putting a challenge out where they put together these cute little targets, and it's called The Good, the Bad, and the Strange. I think that's kind of fitting. But anyways, so it's kind of like a postal match, I guess you might call it, except I think you just I don't think you send these in. You just take a picture and send it to them, or take video and send it to them. And you print out the target. There's a link in the show notes here, welikeshooting.com/shootout. You print out this target, and then with a handgun, a center fire round handgun, you will shoot 5 shots from 7 yards, and the best group wins. Bragging rights, I think. I don't know that they announced an actual prize. Who knows? Maybe they'll let you come on their show if anyone would actually want to do that. But we like shooting.com/shootout. So there's a February 28th deadline for this. So check it out. Brownells helps make this episode of Gun Guy Radio possible. Selection, service, and satisfaction. Find it all at Brownells. Go to gunguyradio.com/satisfaction. And anytime you do click on any of the sites on the Firearms Radio Network where you see the Brownells or the police store banners, anytime you see that and you click that's an affiliate link, and that will give a small percentage back to the Firearms Radio Network. So, if you're going to buy something anyways at Brownells, it really helps us out. Or you can just type in gunguyradio.com/satisfaction. Most of our YouTube videos also have affiliate links there for Brownells. So, if you want to help out the Firearms Radio Network a little bit, if you like what we're doing, if you feel we provide value, please feel free to click through on those affiliate links. So for the main topic this week, wanted to talk a little bit about handgun safes again. I said I was going to do more of a full episode on it. I have some listener feedback I'm going to get to here too. But I wanted to talk, kind of explore. This is kind of more for myself than anything. There's such a wide variety of handgun safes out there. And I'm looking to get another one at some point. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little obsessive compulsive, and when I look to buy something, I kind of dive into it a little too deep. But anyhow, so I've come across a few different options here, and feel free to send me feedback. Some of you guys have already sent me feedback, but Jake at gunguyradio.com on maybe if you've bought one of these following safes and you've had experience with them, what you think about it. I talked about before how I thought having small handgun safes strategically placed throughout the house. A lot of us have houses that are laid out in a fashion where if we were in the basement, let's say I'm in the basement reloading and I need a gun. Well, it's a long ways away the way my house is set up. There's obstacles in the way. First of all, I've got 3, soon to be 4 kids, 4 years old and under. So, that's probably the best deterrent I have is there's Legos and all kinds of toys over the floor. So that might be a deterrent to thieves or anyone breaking in right there. But it's also a deterrent to me to get into possibly get into the kids or get into the handgun safes. They can be a little messy. Maybe your house is immaculate when you have little kids, but mine sure isn't. There's just all these things to take into consideration. There's no easy answer on any of this, I don't think. Long term, I think I like the idea of having handgun safes or some kind of safes, throughout the house. Because over the next 5-10 years, I'm probably going to buy a handgun, maybe once every couple years, something like that. I think a lot of you guys are about the same. Maybe every 2 to 5 years you buy a handgun. So as I get older, I'm going to have a bigger gun collection. And so a lot of you may already have, maybe 3, 4, 5 handguns in the safe. So, why not strategically place them throughout the house in smaller handgun safes or in hidden wall safes, just to give you options. I don't know. There's no right answers here. This kind of just me spitballing, but I kind of like the idea of having options. Having multiple places where myself or the wife can access these tools. So I'm looking through different websites and stuff. Mark, well, first of all, Mark he sent in. He says, here's what I use and recommend for a handgun safe, and it's one by Fort Knox, the Fort Knox safe company. I believe these guys are out of Utah, and it's the original pistol box, and it's a big, heavy duty. It says it's 3/16" wrapped steel door, just rugged 10 gauge body, really heavy duty safe, lifetime warranty. It has a push button mechanical lock, which I like. I like the idea of that because it's not gonna have a battery that runs down. It's not probably not gonna fail because all things that are mechanical can fail, but it's probably more reliable than some of these electronic safes. $249 from Fort Knox or ftnox.com. I like the idea of this safe. It's really heavy duty. Here's the other thing. So this would be a good safe to bolt to my nightstand, and it would be locked, and I would be comfortable with it, with the kids and everything, because it's a big heavy-duty safe and it's got a good lock on it. But here's the thing, my nightstand is probably, I doubt it's solid wood. Most any furniture we buy nowadays, even higher-end furniture, a lot of it is press board, and it might be nicer looking press board, but a lot of it isn't solid wood. And let's see here. I think we have a nightstand that is all solid wood, but it's soft pine or something. So bolting anything to a nightstand, it would probably keep your kids from running off with your safe, but it's not going to keep your safe in the house. Now maybe you could bolt it to the nightstand and to the wall if you butted it against the wall, so that'd be something to take into consideration. But I think a lot of our furniture nowadays is just not strong enough to, like, even a big dresser or wardrobe and stuff like that. I mean, it's particle board stuff that you could just kick apart and take the safe with a little piece of wood still attached to it. So I think a lot of these handgun safes, except for the in-wall safes, which I have a section here I'll get into about in-wall safes, but I think a lot of these handgun safes, smaller safes, you got to just figure that if someone breaks in and they have enough time, it's going to walk out of the house. It's not going to stay there. Even if you have it bolted to the wall, I mean, enough leverage and you can rip that out of the studs. I think the only time you're not going to see a safe walk out is when you have a big, massive, heavy-duty, fireproof, 20, 40 gun safe that's bolted to concrete or bolted to multiple studs. That's probably not going to walk out. But a lot of these smaller safes, I think it's probably a lost cause. I think it's a good idea to bolt it down as securely as humanly possible because it will prevent a smash and grab or whatever. I imagine most robberies, they're in and out as quick as possible. But then again, if you're in a rural area and you don't really have neighbors around, they can probably be in there as long as they want. So I think the main purpose, though, of these pistol boxes, smaller safes, is to keep kids out, keep kids out, keep kids safe. So anyways, thanks for mailing that in, Mark, the Fort Knox pistol box. That looks like a pretty cool safe. Now, Hornady, or Hornady, however you say it, I'm sure I'll get corrections here. They have come out with the Rapid Safe. And the Rapid Safe is pretty unique. It's a safe that looks, it it's a rectangle, and so it has push buttons on it. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 button combination, or maybe it's 4 buttons and an open button. That might be it. But it also has RFID technology where you can wear a bracelet, or you can, I think there's like a credit card looking card that you could have in your wallet. You could, just wave your wallet over this safe and it pops open. So it's pretty interesting. A safe where you can wave a credit card over, or you have a bracelet on and you wave that over it and it pops open because of this RFID technology in it. It kind of makes me think of those handguns that are, acceptable to anti-gunners because they're RFID activated and stuff. So now there's safes that are RFID activated. So, but then again, it gives you options. So it has a backup key as well if the electronics on it fail. And this is the only safe that I've seen that you've plugged actually into the wall. It also has battery backup, but you actually plug this into the wall. I found that interesting. But it's fairly new. It's a Hornady Rapid Safe. I think it's worth a look. I'm curious if anyone has had any experience with this safe. It looks like it fits most handguns. It's 15 inches by 11 inches. 15 inches by 9 inches by 3.5 inches tall. So pretty interesting. There's a link to it in the show notes. And next one is the Gun Vault Micro Pistol Vault. Now the Gun Vaults, they have multiple ways to open them. Many of them have like a place to put 4 fingers, so it looks like 4-finger cutout, and it's got a button under each of those fingers. So I guess the idea is that you lay your hand there, it naturally lays on the buttons, and then you know from programming it what the code is, how many times you press a button for each finger. Now a lot of these I'm not too thrilled about because they don't have numbers on the buttons. I'd kind of like if these were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's how they're laid out, but if they're actually labeled like that too, that'd be nice. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But so the gun vaults, they generally have the 4, and then if you look at like the stack-ons, they'll have the 3 buttons set up. So user interface is really big for me. So if I go with one brand, I think I'd have to stick with that brand so that they all my safes have the same number of possible buttons to key in, so that you don't have one safe that has 4 buttons, another safe with 3 buttons, and then you have to remember what safe is which. I'd rather have all the safes with the same key or key code or key keypad layout, so that I can have the same code on all 3. Well, and the next one on the list is a stack-on. Now, stack-on also have them where it's like keypad on a phone or a calculator. So it has that type of keypad layout. You punch in the code, then you turn a latch, and then you open it up. That's a little more involved, but they're more affordable as well. They're only $43, where the gun vaults, the cheaper gun vaults run around $90 or so. And most all these have biometric options as well, and that's going to add $50 to $100 to the price. And there's mixed reviews on, it seems like every biometric, well, it seems like all these safes in general, there's mixed reviews on the keypad, the latching mechanism, the biometric reader. Some are much better than others, but if you're on Amazon, you're looking through here, it looks like they all can have their issues. So that's something to take into consideration. It doesn't seem like they're all 100% reliable all the time, according to these reviews. And then here, here's another brand, Century Safe, and they also have a pistol box with a 4-button keypad, 4 buttons in a horizontal line. And they light up. They're backlit. They're blue backlit. So pretty. And they have an override key as well. These are about $100. And I believe these have biometric options as well. Now, most all of these safes I put in the show notes have really good reviews. I should say that. They all have 4 out of 5 stars or higher. So I don't think there's any stinkers in the list here, but I think there are things to take into consideration. Then the Gun Vault Speed Vault. This is one that you can mount to the side of things because it has a 4-button keypad on top. Punch in your code, and then it kind of drops down like a drawer, or I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's narrow, so you kind of put your gun down in it like your holster in it. So you could put this under maybe inside a cabinet or under a desk. Punch in your code, it drops open, and then you draw your gun out of it, kind of like you're drawing it out of a holster. And these come with a combination version or a biometric version. And they're both rated fairly well. Both rated about 4.3 out of 5 stars on Amazon. The combination version's 135, the biometric's 205. This one's really appealing because you could mount it inside a kitchen cabinet, a larger kitchen cabinet. You could mount it under a desk. You could mount it like around the corner of a closet where it would be out of the line of sight. So this one's really appealing to me. And back to the biometric thing. While it doesn't seem like any of them are 100% rock solid and reliable, it would give you the same functionality across all your safes, even possibly different brands. If they're all biometric, but if they're different brands, it's your fingerprint. It's not a different combination of keys. It's not a different combo. It's your fingerprint. So, that might be something to think about. And there's a few different gun vaults here. They have a wide variety. If you're watching live, pardon my pauses as I hit the mute button. Now, some of the gun vaults, like the gun vault mini vaults or double vaults, I like it because they have a door that it flops down. It's built so that as soon as you enter the code and it's released, it flops down. You don't have to turn a latch. You don't have to open a door. It just flops open and you grab your gun. So, I like that. That's a cool feature. I also put the Barska mini biometric safe in here. I bought the bigger Barska safe, but I think the mini one is a good size for a handgun safe that you might put somewhere in the house. Now this one's biometric. It has a real key for the backup, and they're fairly reasonable. They're $158 for a biometric safe. They are really heavy. They're heavy duty, pretty darn thick steel. I could see bolting this to maybe a nightstand table and also bolting it to the wall. It's got, I believe mine has holes where you could do that, or you could drill it if you wanted to. But that adds some layer of security, and it's not something that's going to be easily pried open. It has two big locking lugs on it, and it's also kind of recessed in a way that it would take a little bit to pry it open. And then there's another brand called, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Homak, Homak. Your guess is as good as mine. Now, these are unique looking. These almost look like a glove box or something. I'm not sure how to describe these, but they almost look like a glove box in a 80s car or something. And it's got 5 horizontal or vertical, they're vertical keypad going up the side of it, so that's a little bit different. It's a pretty small safe. It's got this is one that doesn't have all-star reviews on it, but again, it's budget. It's only $42, free shipping. And they talk about mounting it inside a vehicle and stuff like that. It's by far different than the other safes. It's shaped in a way where it may allow you to mount it places where you can't mount the other safes, so it might be worth a look. And then here's a series that I've looked at pretty seriously. It's the V-Line DeskMate keyless security boxes. These V-Lines, they come with... most of them come with a bracket that you can bolt to the underside of a desk, and then you lock or then you mount the safe to it, and it has a mechanical lock, so that's a plus in my mind. It has a 5 push button mechanical lock that key in the code, and then you turn a knob. And they have a few different sizes and options, and generally the user interface is the same on all these except for a couple of them, which drives me nuts. 2 of them are mirrored, so the keypad goes in the opposite direction. So I'm not too crazy about that. I think I'd have to pick one version and stick with that version. But, I thought these would be a good. These might also be a good one for mounting under your dash in your car. At first glance, it might look like a CB or something. Maybe you could hang a old CB handset off the side of this, and it might look like a CB radio at first glance in a vehicle. That might be a good ruse. $187, they're a little on the high side, but then again, it has really good reviews. Looks like it's built really well. The Stack-On has what they call a quick access safe. Now, this is kind of the competitor to the gun vaults, but the Stack-Ons all have 3 horizontal buttons rather than the 4 like the gun vaults. So a little bit different user interface there, but then again, that might not make a difference to you, or you could just stick with the same line. These also have the flap down door, so you key in the code and the door flaps down, so no turning a knob or anything like that. And they're more of a budget. They're $70 or so for the keypad version, a little bit more for the biometric. And then there's just so many different brands out there. There's this called Gunmaster Sports Safe. I get a kick out of this one because the picture of it, it has 2 levels. Now, this also has a flap-down door, similar to the gun vaults or the some of the Stack-Ons. But the picture of this has 2 guns in it, and it's got like all this jewelry and watches, like just jammed in this thing. Like where if you're trying to grab your gun out, you'd have all this jewelry and everything flying out with it. It's kind of funny looking. Gunmaster Sports Safe. Never heard of this Gunmaster brand. I assume it's maybe made by someone else, although it doesn't look like any of the other brands. This one has an actual carry handle on top of it too, which I find interesting. It's a 4 button, push button safe. It has a key override as well. It's kind of goofy looking. $101. Has really good reviews. It's frequently bought with a security cable, so I don't know, maybe because of the carry handle, this is if you travel a lot, you could carry this into your hotel room or something. I don't understand why it has a carry handle. And then there's a site called guncasket.com, and they have some unique looking safes. I guess they're kind of casket shaped. That's why it's gun casket. But they have a dual pistol safe, electronic. They also have a keyed version. And and they're unique looking. It looks like they're really well built. Are they stainless steel or I can't remember. They're anodized aluminum. So, but it looks like they're fairly thick. I think they're more. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think they're geared towards home or auto. It's just a different take on it. Again, it's the keypad's different. Everything about this safe is different, but it might be something you see and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So, so a lot of options here in the show notes. I wanted to talk about wall safes a little bit. I found there was a lot more wall safes out there than I thought, because we had talked about the stack-on wall safes before, and I think I maybe mentioned the Barska or the Sentry safe, but there's another company called Paragon. Here's that one I can't pronounce again. Homak, Homak. All these wall safes are made so that you can take a razor knife, cut out the drywall between studs, shove this in there. It fits between your studs, bolt it in, and then hide it behind a painting, hide it behind a mirror. Maybe hide it behind clothes in your closet. I love all the possibilities. Hide it in your pantry, your garage, behind a shovel, behind something large you might hang on the wall. Gives you a lot of options. Out of sight, out of mind. I like that concept. I found a few of these are actually biometric. Like Barska makes a biometric wall safe that is the same user interface as the Barska safe I have, the pistol box version. So that's cool. It's a little on the high side, $194. You could probably fit 3 handguns in this, though. It's got 3 shelves on it. It looks to be... it's about 20 inches in height. So you have some decent room in there. It's built heavy duty, like the Barska pistol box I have. And then Stack-On makes, so they make 2 versions. They make one with, their classic, key that you stick in. But they also make one with an electronic keypad lock that resembles, or it's the same keypad that they put on a lot of their other safes. So if user interface is important to you, Stack-On might have you covered there with their electronic keypads. But I don't know, these wall safes, they really appeal to me because you could easily hide them anywhere. You could have them right by your front door and no one would ever know they were there. You could have them anywhere. You could have them, in your workshop, in the basement, in the laundry room, anywhere. And a lot of them are very affordable if you go with just the keyed version. Like the keyed version of the Stack-On is $65. I saw this locally on clearance for $43 or something. So that, not necessarily quick access unless you always have a key on you, but could be another storage option for you. There's also, let's see here, I lost it here. But, in-wall safes, I don't know, write me, what do you think? Do you have an in-wall safe? Do you think those would be a viable option? I think they would be, because some of these are biometric, some of them are electronic keypads, so they would be quick access, especially if you could have them in your living area and have them out of sight, have a wall hanging, something in front of it that you just, you throw that picture, you throw that wall hanging out of the way, put your thumb up to it, it pops open, and you're in business. I don't know. It piques my interest for sure. So I have a couple interesting links here. One is from guns.com. I saw this earlier this week, and it's titled "Does your shelf need more gun? Meet the tactical shelf." you got to check this out. It's in the show notes. It's from guns.com. These are nice-looking shelves. My wife even put some shelves up in the living room and the kids' room that look like these. Just a nice-looking wood shelf, nice stain, real nice look to them. But the bottom of it flips down, and it shows this one has an AR-15 with magazines. It has a pistol. It has like a medical kit. It has a tactical flashlight, has extra magazines for the pistol, like your full kit, your full end of the world. I need, my AR-15 and my Smith & Wesson M&P right there. Again, out of sight, out of mind, right there in your living room, behind your couch. This nice looking shelf that the bottom flips out, and you have your tactical wall right there, I guess is what they're calling it. They have different size versions. I have another one that has two Glocks in it, side by side with spare magazines. These look cool as heck, for sure. I think these might. If I was a single guy, if I was a bachelor, I think I would totally go for these because they're not child safe. I don't think. I don't think the company's claiming that they are either. But man, they are just cool looking. It'd give me an excuse to buy some more guns to fill them up. But apparently, this company, tacticalwalls.com, they're taking pre-orders. If you're watching live, you can go to tacticalwalls.com. The smaller version is $280. Larger version is $380. Taking pre-orders now. Now, the only thing I'm unsure about on these is it says they take 2 magnetic keys, and if you look at the pictures when they're flipped down, you can see a little white latch or clasp on either side. That must be where it locks in when you push the bottom of this shelf up and it clicks. That must be the little latch that clicks. So it concerns me that it says it's magnetic locks, because I'm thinking of the child-proof. We have child-proof locks on our kitchen cabinets, and you have to take this. It's a very strong magnet inside, like this white plastic casing. So you take it and you hover it over your cabinet door, because our cabinet doors don't have pulls on them. They don't have knobs on them. They're just completely flat. And this magnetic latch is mounted, inside the cabinet. So you run this magnet over it, you hear it click, and then you can open the cabinet. This is what it's making me think that these work the same way. And they come with 2 magnetic keys. So, do you have to hold them out in both hands to get these shelves to open up? I'm curious. I wish there was a video showing you how they open up. But that's my only, that's my only hesitation on these. But other than that, they look really cool. So, that might be a option for you. Those of you that don't have kids yet, or maybe never had kids, or maybe your kids are moved out, and I envy you because you have many more storage options. Because definitely having kids makes you think twice. You really want to make sure that safe is going to keep them out. Maybe the older the kids, the more concerned you should be. I don't know. I just have young kids at this point, but they try to get into everything as is. So one more interesting link here is the Liberty Safe Company. They make some of the big safes. They have what they call a Safe Alert monitoring system. It's not Safe Alert, it's Safe Alert. There's no A, there's not a second A in it. So Safe Alert monitoring system, and it's $199, and it says it has free 24-hour monitoring service included. It looks like a little I don't know if it says how big it is. Looks like a little, it's a little plastic box but with a circuit board in it. It looks maybe like it's 4 by 4 inches, something like that. 4 by 4 inches or so. I don't know. It makes me think of, I bought a Suburban that had a aftermarket car alarm installed in it. And I put a snow plow in the Suburban, and the car alarm just went nuts. And I couldn't figure out how to get it to go off, so I just ripped the brain of this car alarm out. And luckily the Suburban worked fine after that, but not a very good car alarm. I ripped the brain out, and that's what this box looks like. It reminds me of a car alarm, and it apparently works a lot like a car alarm because it senses when your safe is opened and closed, if someone's like messing with your safe, moving your safe. So it obviously has some kind of sensor in it for movement. But get this, it'll send you text messages when your safe is being tampered with or is opened and closed. So it is pretty interesting, $199, and it will alert you when someone's messing with your safe. Now, it looks like it previously had fees for every year for the monitoring service, but it looks like they're free now. Looks like you just have to buy this box, and the monitoring service is free. But on the website, it's crossed out. It says it used to be $60 a year, or if you bought 3 years, it would be $40 each year. But now that's all crossed out, and it says free service. So I think moving forward, it's a free service as long as you buy this device. Now, I'm a little concerned because it works off your home Wi-Fi, so you have to have Wi-Fi internet. And if this thing is in your safe, how good is your Wi-Fi connection to something that's inside your safe? I know in my house where I have the router, or the wireless router for the internet, it's in the living room, and you get to the far edge of our bedroom, which we live in a fairly small ranch-style house. It's really not that far away at all. It's only a room away. It's like a kitty corner room away. And you get over there, and like my iPhone will lose the Wi-Fi signal. It will go, kick out to LTE. So and actually that's about where one of my safes is. So if I had this in my safe, I know it's not going to get the Wi-Fi. So they thought of something. They have this goofy looking like rectangular antenna that apparently you run a cord into your safe, plug into this box, and then you put an antenna, a Wi-Fi antenna on top of your safe. So I don't know. Is this goofy? Is this? I don't know. I guess having your safe send you a text message when it's being tampered with or open, that might be helpful. Then again, well, I guess it sends you a message if it's ever disconnected as well. So I was going to say a crook could just pull this antenna off of your safe. I guess it'll send you a message if it loses wireless connection. So there you go. Now, if you go to libertysafe.com, they have a Safe Alert demo where you can type in your cell phone number and see what the text alerts look like, I guess. And, it'll send you an email as well. And it also sends you alerts for temperature. If the temperature gets too hot, if it gets too cold, if the humidity gets too high. So it's I don't know, kind of interesting. Kind of reminds me of the Nest that I think Google owns them now, but the Nest thermostats, you can get a thermostat that you can control from an app on your phone or from a browser, so you can control your temperature in your house when you're not there. And it will. I think the Nest will actually. It will sense when you're in the house and when you're not in the house, and it will automatically learn when to turn down the temperature. So, I don't know. It's almost like taking Skynet to your safe. Do you want that? I I don't know. It's definitely interesting. It's also interesting that it has a counter on the website here. It says how many Safe Alert units have been sold, and so far 1,891 have been sold. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Would you buy a Safe Alert? Would you want this device that sends you text messages if your safe is moved a little bit? You know, it reminds me of a car alarm that you bump it and it goes off or something. I'm wondering, like, if your wife is vacuuming and bumps the safe, is it going to send you a text alert? I don't know. If someone slams a door, is your safe going to go to red alert? Can someone hack into the Safe Alert? I don't know. Is it EMP proof? That's a big thing, right? So, anyways, pretty interesting whether you think it's a good idea or not. LA Police Gear helps make this episode of Gun Guy Radio possible. So I was looking around on LA Police Gear, and they have a section called New on LA Police Gear, and it's pretty cool. I did not realize all the things that LA Police Gear carries. They carry like everything nowadays. They carry magazines, like any magazine you might be looking for, they probably have it. They carry muzzle brakes. They carry steel targets by MGM Targets. They carry scope rings. They carry scopes, holsters, Black Hawk bedside holster. You know, that's something to talk about. If you don't have kids, you know, some of these bedside holsters might be a good option. Anyways. Magazine carriers, Mole gear, snap caps, they have the backup iron sights, pistol sights. So really, if you're looking to buy anything, I would check out LA Police Gear and see if it's there, and check the price. I'm all about, finding the best deal, but that's what's great about LA Police Gear. Most everything I've looked up, it's the cheapest at LA Police Gear. And what else is cool? Right now, they're running free shipping on all orders over $89. And they also have a 365-day return policy. And they're always running sales. They're always running closeouts. Like right now, they're doing free 511 hats for orders over $60 of 511 tactical gear. They're always giving something away free, or whether it's shipping or this or that, or 20% off 511 bags right now. Always have great deals. Check out their closeouts. They always have just amazing deals on closeouts, whether it's boots or ammo cans or Black Hawk hoodies or tactical flashlights or pullovers or tactical pants or single point slings or hearing protection, you name it, CR123 batteries, just awesome deals all the way around. LAPoliceGear.com, and don't forget, for the month of February, it's free shipping on all orders. That's right, all orders over $89. That's why I love LA Police Gear. And also check out Duluth Trading Company. Duluth Trading Company, manly clothing for the, manly man, for the gun guy. Maybe you need to cover up that plumber's butt. Well, they have long-tail jersey polos now, so you can look stylish in a polo and also cover that plumber's butt. So check them out, gunguyradio.com/Duluth. So we are to the feedback section of the show. So Tom, he wrote in. This is This is from the episode I did for home handgun defense. He says used J or K frame Smith & Wesson revolvers are around the $300 to $400 range. In 38 or 357. Reasonable ammo and easy to reload if you wish. He also says Cal-Tec 9 M, but figure in extra mags and enough ammo to prove reliability. Personally, I think these are the best values. You could also use a Ruger double-action revolvers or 9mm autos, but I have no experience. I wish you and your growing family the best. So, yeah, I think those are some good options, although my price limit was $300 or less. So, but I've been thinking more and more lately about revolvers being a really good option, actually. You don't have the capacity, but there's potentially could be less things to go wrong with them. You know, a revolver, a lot of handguns, auto-loading handguns, you have two springs. I think two springs is what causes you the most problem. The magazine spring or something around that spring, the follower or the magazine itself. And then the recoil spring, the guide rod spring. Those cause you, usually when you have a problem with an auto-loading pistol, those are one or your two problem points. Whether ammunition might not, cycle, your slide because that spring only likes certain loads of ammunition. For the most part, it's a non-issue. But when you do have an issue with an autoloader, it's usually surrounded. I think those two areas. Now with a revolver, it's all. It seems much more reliable as far as ammunition goes. Like whatever 38 Special or 357 Magnum you drop into those cylinders, it's gonna go bang. It's not gonna not cycle, obviously, because it's a revolver. But it's not. It maybe won't have the same issues as. Especially when we're talking the budget range, when you get down into this budget, of $300 or less, you may be looking at lower quality spring steel being used in the autoloaders. But, the revolver's been around for 150 years plus. So it's pretty proven technology. It's pretty mechanical. It's not, I don't know. When I think budget, I'm thinking a revolver would be easier to make reliable than a budget autoloader because a revolver is just more, just more solid parts. You're not dealing with, these coiled springs. I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about lately. So Larry writes in, he says, I just wanted to say thank you for your recent show on budget handguns and safes. I wrote you about the SSY, or Sky, however you say it, a couple weeks ago, and I'm finding that I actually missed mine. Mine got sold to fund the purchase of a Taurus 380 TCP for my wife to carry, but I may have to fund another one in the near future. I wanted to thank you for your perspective of not being a gun snob, which some people surely are. I look forward to an update on which quick access safe you choose because I am in a similar situation. I'm leaning towards a couple of in-wall safes to put in the downstairs closet and possibly another location. I'm leaning that direction because they would be harder to steal in the event of me not being at home at the time of a break-in. Well, and that's true. An in-wall safe would be harder to steal quickly. I think with a crowbar and a couple guys, most anything is possible. But if you don't know they're there, I think that's your biggest advantage with an in-wall safe is not knowing it's there. So hopefully I gave you some good options here in the show notes of this episode, Larry. It's gunguyradio.com/106. I have 6 different in-wall safes, and there's 1, 2, 3, for 5 different brands. So hopefully that gives you some good options. I don't think there's any right answer, but I think I'm leaning towards maybe the Barska biometric wall safe, since I already have a Barska pistol box. Same, back to that same user interface. That's a big selling point for me. Sam writes in, he says, "Hi, I love the network. I listen on Stitcher. Haven't had a Kel-Tec PF9 and a EAA 357 revolver," which I talked about both those in the handgun episode. I would and have relied on these for personal car and home defense. With better quality ammo, the PF9 never gave me trouble at the range, or with the defensive ammo, I fed it. As for the EAA, now this is the EAA 357 budget revolver. I think it's $250, $275, something like that. Sam says, "I gave it the cheapest, dirtiest ammo I could find because it was a wheel gun and I hated it. And I wanted it to break so I could justify buying a better gun. But it never broke. Both of them have thousands of rounds by now and still run true." He says, "Another option I've never owned but would consider is a Maverick Pump 12-gauge $300 shotgun." And, so Sam's a funny guy. He says, "I thank you for all you've done. It is truly supercalifragilisticexpialidocious." And believe it or not, spell check says that is an actual word, and Sam spelled it right. He says, "P.S. and can you say it's conveniently manually ambidextrous-able?" I don't think that's a word, Sam. It's not spell ambidextrous-able. Is that what you're... Anyways, we could probably do a whole episode on home defense shotguns. I think there's a lot of great shotguns in the $300 range, especially if you look at the used market. So I think you're onto something there, Sam, for sure. Donald says, "Budget home defense, ? Several guns and safes. I wish I had that budget. The problems I see with the plan are twofold." Well, Sam, I'm not buying multiple safes or guns all at the same time. This is over an extended period of time. But some people might be looking to do that. You never know. He says, "The first is kids. You never know what they will do." True. Their friends are a problem, too much less predictable than your own kids. They could find the safe and stumble upon the combination, and the trouble begins. Could find the safe and stumble upon the combination. I don't know. Stumble upon, unless you make the combination 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know that anyone's going to guess the combination unless you make it real easy. But that would be on you, not the safe. The second problem is your response time. Someone breaks down your door, runs at you as you run for the safe, then you have to put it in the combination without error and wait for the device to clear as you can try again. By the time you get to the gun, the thug has gotten to you. Very possible. I would suggest one gun for each responsible adult in a safe by the door to be carried while at home. Kids can't find them without you knowing, and your response time is dramatically reduced. Your biggest problem is how to carry. I live in Washington State and have my concealed carry permit. I have a Kel-Tec P11. I carry in a crossbreed mini tuck most of the time. When I'm in my pajamas, I have a simpler IWB holster that the drawstring holds in place. Both are quite comfortable, and if needed, response time is immediate. Well, I completely agree, Donald. If you're carrying a gun, your response time is much faster. That is ideal. But not everyone's going to carry their gun at home. That's just a fact. I don't see my wife doing it anytime soon. If you don't carry concealed outside the house, I doubt it's very likely you're going to carry concealed inside your house. That would be kind of strange. So if you do carry concealed, yeah, I think you make a lot of good points. But not everyone does. and you're not going to hell if you don't carry concealed, I don't think. So I think it's personal preference. There's not a right or wrong answer. I think you bring up a lot of good points, Donald. But I think worrying about kids stumbling upon the combination. Well, that would be true for any safe in the house. I guess you never have. You only have the gun that you carry, and you don't have any other guns. Because you're always going to have a gun in the safe, most likely. Most likely you're going to have more guns than what you carry. So, I don't know. I think most safes with, as long as you give them a good combination yourself, I think they're going to be childproof. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Standard 91, he writes in, a pair of pistols that you might have missed are the Smith & Wesson SD 9 and 40. So SD stands for self-defense, I think. So these are the Smith & Wesson pistols that are between the Sigmas and the M&Ps. They're kind of like that halfway ground. I haven't seen Sigmas forever, and I haven't seen the SDs lately either. I don't know how many of these Smith & Wesson are putting out. When I did my research, I looked at several online sites for this $300 or less range, and not one Sigma and not one SD came up. So they're either all above that from what you can buy online. He says he sees them for $289 at Academy online. So maybe I just didn't look in the right place. But yeah, Stanner, I think the Smith & Wesson SDs or even the Sigmas would be a good option for a budget defense gun for sure. He says he likes them. He says they're very reliable, comfortable to shoot. And he says have a good feel, good grip. I've never shot. I don't think I've ever shot a Sigma. Maybe I have. I love the M&Ps. So from what I understand, the SD is kind of a Sigma with an M&P feel to it. He says, by the way, I often wear my pistol around the home just for the very reason that if someone were to break in, it would take several seconds to run upstairs, open my drawer, and access my safe with its biometric lock. I have a lock safe, which I read or have very good reviews about, but I would not buy another biometric safe. I found it to be temperamental and sometimes requires up to a dozen attempts before it will open. That is unacceptable for a safe where I store my home defense pistol. Again, great show and congrats on the baby. Well, thanks, Stanner. Yeah, I'd say a dozen attempts would be unacceptable. I have not found that to be the case with my biometric. I've had it. Well, I was really with my wife where it was not reliably doing it every time. But it allows you to store multiple fingerprints, and I think it's a good idea to store your fingerprints multiple times for the same finger, where you maybe are laying that same finger slightly differently over the reader each time you store it. So maybe 2 or 3, 4 times you lay your finger a little bit differently, maybe angled a little bit or maybe not all the way on the reader. If you give it those multiple options for your finger, I think it's going to be a lot more reliable. That might be a trick to it. But, a dozen times to get it to open, that's not acceptable at all. So Shelly 4 says, Jake, I just got listening to this week's episode, and you were talking about taking your very pregnant wife out shooting. Bad idea. Probably. Not only should you consider that your unborn child is a filter for everything your wife breathes like lead from the primers. Well, she wasn't snorting primers, I promise you. I don't know. I think we go a little crazy about lead in the air, but maybe not. Maybe you have a valid point. Sound travels extremely well through water, and your unborn child with fully developed ears as in a water cocoon about the same distance from a firing gun as your wife's ears with no hearing protection. I'm guessing that while shooting, you may have been fun for you and hopefully a little bit for your wife. It was probably pretty stressful for the new baby. Please pass the word that pregnant women should probably not be around shooting in other very loud environments. At minimum, check with your doctor first. Other than that, keep up the good work. And you're probably right. My pregnant wife probably should not have been shooting, and I wouldn't recommend it for any other pregnant wives. And I believe Julie Golub has a ebook out about shooting while pregnant. And I will put that in the show notes. I probably should have read that first. Sound travels extremely well through water. So I think, I'm thinking of, I might be wrong about this, but if you think, if you're in a swimming pool, you know, if you're at a noisy party or something, there's a swimming pool, and you dive under the water, the noise of the party is not amplified when you're under the water. It's muffled. So I kind of think that's probably the same. You know, I agree. If there's a loud noise going off in the water, right by the water, I don't know. It probably bring up some good points, Shelley, and I'm a bad father. JD writes in, he says, good review of the SCCY. I would say you're right on target. I have one and have included as a carry gun since it completed my trust and reliability shakedown. Also, I agree, while this gun may not be for everyone, it is worth checking out. So there's another guy saying to check out the SCCY or this guy, CPX2. Bruce writes in, he's from Racine, Wisconsin. He says, thanks for the reloading episode on the podcast. I would definitely take a listen to a dedicated reloading podcast on the network. You know, I had a gentleman that was working on a reloading podcast, and I guess he just got too busy. But, you know, if anyone's interested, you know, let me know. We could definitely, send out a pilot episode and see what kind of response we get. I think it would be a pretty big show, a reloading podcast dedicated to reloading. If you're interested, send me an email, jake@firearmsradio.tv. Anyways, Bruce says, you mentioned that you got into reloading for economy and were using lead bullets, but they were messy. Yes, they are. That's very true, and one solution is to check out S&S Casting, local to you in Illinois. Excuse me. And yes, they are local to me. They are like an hour and 40 minutes away or so. They actually are kind of down by our family in Bloomington, so might have to pick and order up sometime because they're kind of like the Rainier ballistics. They're a coated bullet, and they have really good prices. They have let's see here. You can get 38 specials, 500 for $30, 1,000 for 9mm. You can 125 grain. You can get 1,000 for $64. So these are kind of on par with what I was paying for just straight up lead. So they carry 30 carbine, which is interesting. 38, 357, 380, 40, 10 mil. 45 and 9. Get 1,000, 115 grain 9 for 66. They have 125 grain versions. They have really heavy 160 grain versions. That also works for 38 Super. Good it looks like a good option, snscasting.com. So thank you very much, Bruce, for turning me on to them. He says they're still cheap compared to jacketed, no smoky lube burn off during firing. That's a fun part. And I have had no issues with barrels being hard to clean. I have been using the 124 grain 9mm bullets with my SIG P6, and they work fantastic. All right, one last feedback from Podunk, Utah. No username left. He says, I've been thinking about Excuse me, pardon me. I'm still fighting this cold. Podunk Utah says, I've been thinking about getting a few AR lowers online, but I have no idea how the process works for buying guns lowers online. Can you do a show on that? Yeah, maybe at some point we can dedicate a show, but really it's not that complicated. Basically, you want to find a local FFL, a mom and pop gun store, a kitchen table FFL dealer, some smaller gun shop. It might be the way to go, or some of the big box stores do it as well. Just tell them that you're going to be doing a transfer, and some of them will give you a PDF copy of their FFL, or they will simply tell you that when you buy, from the seller online, that have them contact, your local FFL there, and they will send their FFL to them. Because basically, you're going to have to transfer this through a local FFL. That local FFL will do a background check on you. If there's a waiting period required, they will make you wait that waiting period before picking up your gun. And if there's any other local requirements, it's up to your local FFL to accomplish that. Whatever, your local laws might be different. If you're in California, you might have some craziness. Here in Illinois, I have a 3-day waiting period for handguns. So my local FFL has to make me wait 3 days before I can pick up my gun. And they have to run the background check as well. Basically, figure out where you're buying your AR lower. If you're buying it from Brownells, Palmetto State Armory, wherever you're buying it, buy it, and then, or even before you buy it, let that local FFL know that you're doing that. So hypothetically here, I'm on Brownells, I buy it, and then have my local FFL contact Brownells on your behalf, let them know that, it's a legit transfer and everything, so they send it. I guess that's the other thing I should mention. If you're buying, an AR lower, handgun, anything like that, it's going to ship directly to your FFL. It's never going to ship to you. It's going to ship directly to your local FFL. So that's why you want to figure out who that local FFL is first. And they can walk you through the process. They've done this 1,000 times. So, go, that's what I would suggest. But it's not a big deal. They do it all the time. I bought guns on Gun Broker from other dealers or whatnot, and it's easy process. Just depends on how your local FFL operates. So get in touch with them, and they'll walk you through it. So this is my new segment for the show where I feature a YouTube channel of the week, and this week we are featuring none other than Hickok 45. Hickok 45, it's HICKOK 45. I love his bio here. He says, welcome to Hickok 45. You're at the drama-free shooting channel. I love it. His videos are great. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got so many videos. He has so many subscribers. I mean, he's almost to 1 million subscribers. He's only a few thousand away from 1 million. And he's had 210 million views on all of his videos. I was trying to see how many videos he has, but I don't think it tells me. I think he has, hundreds and hundreds. He shoots a Tavor. He shoots classic guns like the 1860 Henry or the Schofield revolver, but he also shoots, things like an M16 that's suppressed. And he has a blast doing it. It's a lot of fun watching Hickok 45. So check it out if you haven't, or if you have, maybe forgot about. I'm not a guy that watches YouTube all the time, so it's always fun. Just once in a while, checking out Hickok 45 on YouTube. Welcome back to the Gun Guy Radio Product Spotlight, and we have a special correspondent, Paul Levy, the category manager over at Brownells, on the line with us. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, Jake. Doing well.
All right. Well, we're back into the bolt action world here, and we're talking a little bit about the Kinetic Research Group's bolt lift. What do you have for us?
Bolt handles or bolt knobs for the 700 or other actions have been around for quite some time. People don't like the factory knob usually because it's so small. They prefer something that they can just kind of grasp with their palm and quickly open the action to quickly operate the rifle. And that's been around for quite some time, but it requires a gunsmith to install. You got to remove the existing handle. You have to cut it off, then rethread the handle, and then install the new one, blend it to do it right, and all that good stuff. And we sell a lot of those, but not every customer's capable of doing that. Maybe they don't want to take it to a gunsmith. Maybe they don't have the cash on hand to do that. So what Kinetic Research Group came out with, KRG, came out with this bolt lift. And it's this little plastic chunk right here. What this does is goes right around your existing, say, 700 bolt handle, and just attaches like so. I unfortunately don't have a rifle here to demonstrate it on, but basically with a 5-minute installation, you instantly have an enlarged bolt knob, which is pretty handy and a nice, quick, easy fix, painless fix for a lot of people that don't have the resources to go and install a new bolt handle. So like I mentioned, just clamps over, is retained in place via this screw here. And then also it comes with various O-rings. So say there's different sizes for factory bolt handles. So it comes with these different size O-rings to fit a variety of rifles. Even the 700s, they have different size knobs on different versions. So the O-ring will just go around that, just so there's no play when you go and install this. You'll see the recess there for your existing knob. And this is the end where the handle goes through, and the current knob just sits right in there.
Oh, very cool. It seems to provide a cheap, quick, and easy, gunsmithing option for people that, are a little more towards the novice end of the spectrum, maybe, or that just wants someone that wants a quick, easy fix, because they're definitely affordable. They're only $28.
Yeah, and current bolt knobs are about that, but then you also have to factor in, the installation price.
Right. Right.
So, and then if you're not comfortable with just the O-ring keeping the things tight, and then this screw, you can also choose to epoxy this on your handle. Then it's essentially a permanent solution. And plus it has some texture to it, and the groove. So it serves a function acting as a bolt lift, quite well. You're not going to miss it anyways. Well, just given its size.
Right. And it comes in black and flat dark earth.
Correct.
This might be a cool option, for some of your stock kits that allow you to use AR-15 butt stocks and pistol grips. This would kind of make it all match.
Yeah, you can get the Magpul Flat Dark Earth stock sets and grips, and you're all coordinated then.
There you go.
Ready for a night out in the town, yep.
Well, very cool. You can check out the Kinetic Research bolt handle at Brownells. I have a direct link in the video if you're watching on YouTube, or in the show notes on gunguyradio.com. Well, thank you so much, Paul, and we'll see you next week.
No problem. See you then.
So this month, for the Brownells giveaway, we are announcing next week the giveaway item or items. It's going to be cool, so tune in next week. The winners I announced last week, those prizes are either shipped or they will be shortly shipped from Brownells. And to enter the monthly Brownells giveaway, you simply subscribe to our email newsletter by going to gunguyradio.com/winner. That's right, gunguyradio.com/winner, and that's our newsletter. Sign up for a newsletter. You're entered for life. That's right, you're entered for life. We're giving away the next round of giveaways the end of February. Could be delayed because of the baby coming for me, so might be delayed a week or two. We'll have to see how that works out, but that will only give you more time to enter, so it's a win-win for you. gunguyradio.com/winner. Enter today if you haven't already. Tell your friends.
Ballroom jeans, fire hose work pants, and long-tail tees are 3 favorites among the men of Gun Guy Radio. Duluth Trading Company has perfected the art of clothing the manly man. If you want manly comfort that's trusted by these gun guys, go to gunguyradio.com/Duluth and check out the other manly essentials Duluth Trading Company offers gun guys like us.
Well, that about wraps it up this week. So check out Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design. He's designed almost all the awesome artwork on the Firearms Radio Network. hunterofdesign.com. And you can send feedback to jake@gunguyradio.com. Don't forget to leave us an iTunes written review. Helps other people find the show. If you like what we're doing, if you feel I'm providing you value, please leave us an iTunes review. gunguyradio.com iTunes or /iTunes will take you directly there. Remember to join the NRA and the Second Amendment Foundation. Don't forget to check out the apps. We have Firearms Radio Network apps on Android and Windows phones. So check your store for those 2 operating systems, I guess is what you call them. Check your store and you can download them today and listen on the go. Don't forget to check out the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network. Subscribe and listen for free. firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. Check out the Fat to Fit HQ podcast. I actually made an appearance back on there that will be airing in a week or 2 or so. And I'll be on there once in a while throughout the coming months. So, but you really should be tuning in for Carol, because Carol is the heart and soul of the Fat Fit HQ podcast, and she has amazing guests on. There's 2 episodes with listener Andrew from Great Britain, and they're great, really entertaining. Check those out. And she's had on several listeners lately, like Lisa, and I'm forgetting the other ones, but really good episodes, life-changing. Carol really is changing people's lives with the Fat to Fit HQ podcast. So check it out, fattofithqpodcast.com. And don't forget to check out, or don't forget to shop Brownells using our affiliate link by going to gunguyradio.com/satisfaction. Well, that's a wrap, and we'll see you next week.
The Firearms Radio Network is pleased to announce a brand new show, Tactical Paradise. This is a show... What? Oh. The Firearms Radio Network is pleased to announce a show that's been around for a while already. Tactical Paradise is hosted by Greg Bakken and covers all things tactical. Visit tacticalparadise.com/iTunes and put your sights on that subscribe button. This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.